Hello everyone, welcome to EduTab. In my first video, I have given you an approach for the preparation of IBPS A4 mains examination. In that, I have included most important subjects and their topics on a priority basis to cover maximum score in the mains examination. Based on that, I am covering the previous year questions of respective subjects as per the priority. So we have taken agronomy in the first priority and we have covered in the previous video the questions from agronomy subject from 2012 to 2016. So from 2017 to 2019, which type of questions are being asked from agronomy subjects from mainly the static portion that we are covering in the second part of this agronomy PYQs. Okay. And before going to the questions, I am requesting you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also join our Telegram channel to access the PDF notes of video lectures that we are providing on YouTube. And the link of the Telegram channel is given into the description. So this is the question I had given you at the end of previous session to answer. And the most correct answer from this option is dryland agriculture. So Vasantrao Naik Award is given for the outstanding research in the dryland agriculture. So crop lodging is done in, and the correct answer for the question is the sugarcane. So crop lodging is done in sugarcane and it was first developed by H.F. Clements and was first adopted in sugarcane crop. So and crop lodging is nothing but the plan of assessment of the requirement of the nutrient for yield maximization. Okay. What is the plant population per hectare for long durational variety of rice? And from this given option, correct option is option D, that is 3,33,000 plants per hectare is the correct answer for plant population per hectare for long durational variety of rice. And likewise for short durational, medium duration and long durational varieties, in this table I depicted here the plant population likewise. Okay. Water use efficiency in a drip irrigation can go as high as, and from the options the correct option is option E, that is 95% is the correct answer. That means out of total applied irrigated water, 95% of water is utilized. Okay. And the other data regard which is important regarding drip irrigation is pressure in the laterals, that is 1.5 to 2.5 kg per square centimeter. Discharge rate in a drip irrigation from drippers is 1 to 8 liter per hour, and 50 to 70% of water saving as compared to the surface irrigation or the flood irrigation. Next, 30 to 60% fertilizer saving if you apply fertilizer along with drip irrigation, that is through fertigation, then the saving of fertilizer is up to 30 to 60%. And next is the 20 to 40% increase in the production. So productivity as well as production of the crop, it will increase up to 20 to 40% than usual. Okay. Next, National Research Center for Groundnut is located at, and from these options, correct option is option C, Junagadh city. So National Research Center for Groundnut is located in Junagadh city at Gujarat. There are different methods of seed sowing. Inserting a seed through a hole at a desired depth and covering the hole is known as. So this is type of sowing method in which hole is made for placing the seed at a desired depth and covering the hole. So this is nothing but the dibbling method of sowing. So option C is the correct answer. In this image you can see the farmers are dibbling the seeds for sowing. So they are practicing the dibbling method of sowing. So mainly this is the cotton, so for the sowing of a cotton. Next is, what is minimum temperature for the growth of rice in India? And the correct answer for this is option A, that is 12 degrees Celsius. So minimum temperature is the lowest threshold temperature. Below that the growth of rice is ceased, and other temperature regarding paddy cultivation is are listed here. So this is important for examination point of view. Okay, next. Which of the following agroclimatic zone consists of subzones of Jammu and Kashmir, former Jammu and Kashmir, now it is a union territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh Union Territory. Next, the Himachal Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. So, and the correct answer for this is Western Himalaya zone includes these three subzones. Okay, next. What is the depth of plowing for a deep-rooted crop? from the given options, correct answer is option D, that is 25 to 30 centimeter. So depth of plowing as per the crop root depth is one thing, and the categorization given by CREDA, that is Central Research Institute for Dryland Agriculture located at the Hyderabad, also given a categories of plowing as per the depth of plow. Okay, these are shallow plowing, medium deep plowing and deep plowing. Don't confuse it between these two. Okay, next. For the AFO aspirants, EduTab is offering two courses. Course 1 includes detailed videos and the notes, month-wise agriculture current affair magazines, important scheme related to the agriculture, as well as all the mock test in a first course. And second course includes 25 full-length mock test, 30 sectional test, and detailed PDF explanation for all about test. Okay. So, and the validity of this course is up to 31st March 2022, and you can avail this course to get 50% off. Can use this code early15. Okay. Which of the following is a temperate crop? From this option, correct answer is a option A, that is wheat. Wheat is a temperate crop because for the optimum growth of wheat, it requires temperature less than up to 21 degrees Celsius, but is it less than 24 degrees Celsius, and temperature above 24 degrees Celsius comes under the tropical condition, but less than 24 degrees Celsius it comes under the temperate condition. So wheat is a temperate crop. What is the optimum temperature for the growth of wheat in India? So for the optimum temperature, the correct answer is 20 degrees Celsius. Actually, it is a 21 degrees Celsius is the optimum temperature for the wheat, and the most correct option from the option is option C, that is 20 degrees Celsius, and other temperature regarding wheat are listed here for the germination, tillering and vegetative growth, as well as for the reproductive and the grain filling stages. The respective temperatures are given here. What is the shallow depth of plowing consist of? Okay, for the shallow depth of plowing, so from these options, the correct answer is 5 to 6 centimeter. So according to the CREDA, that is the Central Research Institute for Dryland Agriculture, they give the categories for the depth of plowing, and for shallow depth plowing, it is up to 5 to 6 centimeter deep in a soil. The practice of forestry for the raising fodder grass with scattered fodder trees, fruit trees and fuel wood trees is suitable. So from these options, the correct option is it included in the mixed forestry. It includes fodder grass also, it includes also scattered fodder trees, fruit trees and fuel woods. The mixture of all these included in the mixed forestry. And other options and their description, that is the recreation forestry, mixed forestry, farm forestry, shelter belts and rehabilitation of degraded forests, you can refer this. Which of the following is an economic benefit for agroforestry? So for agroforestry, there is socio-economic benefit as well as ecological benefits are there. So from these options, you have to identify the economical benefit of agroforestry. So from these given options, the correct answer is option E, that is increment in the output of food, fuelwood, fodder and fertilizer is the correct answer. That is the economical benefit, economical, not ecological nor social, but economical benefit of agroforestry is option E is the correct answer. Next question is, which soil tillage is used in which no soil particles are disturbed? And the options are minimum tillage, stubble mulching, zero tillage, both A and C, or conventional tillage. And the correct option for this question is both A and C, that is option D is the correct answer. So in this image you can see the minimum tillage and zero tillage. Here the zero tillage is practiced in which the land is not that much disturbed, just for the sowing time the land is directly sown without any primary or secondary tillage operations. So and in a minimum tillage as well, so land is the disturbed up to an extent where the sowing is done. Just for that particular place the soil is disturbed in a minimum tillage. But as it compared with the other portion of the soil, So it is a very small extent up to which soil is disturbed just to sowing, just for sowing. So that's why it comes under, both the options comes under no soil particles are disturbed in this minimum tillage as well as in the zero tillage. So over your screen you can easily compare the no till or zero till with the conventional tillage operation. So no till soil has organic layer that will enrich the soil structure, as well as it has no any compaction in the soil, no any disturbance in the natural structure of the soil when it compared with the tilled soil or conventional tillage. So here you will find the soil compaction due to the heavy tools and the implements for used for the tillage operation, that will causes the compaction of the soil, and it will promote the erosion, soil erosion, as well as it promote the soil crusting, and that will cause the increase in the runoff. Okay, because no any such organic cover over the tilled soil, that will causes the more runoff, more sheet erosion, more splash erosion. That's how the no tilled soil or the zero tillage is a modern technique of tillage, is beneficial to the farmer, as well as it will reduces the cost of cultivation. Next question is, there are different methods of irrigation. Field is divided into smaller unit areas so that each has nearly level surface. Which of the following represent this method of irrigation? So you have to identify the name of irrigation method in which the area is divided into the small units, and from the given options the correct answer is option E, that is a check basin method, in which the area field is divided into smaller units for irrigation. Next question is, in which cropping method two or more crops are grown simultaneously during the part of life of each? That is, second crop is planted after the first crop has reached reproductive stage of growth. Okay, means well before the harvesting of a first crop is at maturity stage or at the reproductive stage, next crop is sown. Okay, so you have to identify that type of cropping system, and the correct answer for this is the relay cropping. So in this image you can see here in this picture, the wheat is at the harvesting stage. Within 10 to 15 days wheat crop is harvested. Well before that the soybean is sown in between the rows of the wheat crop, just to take as an catch crop, just to take an advantage of moisture as well as to for the time utility and space utility. Okay, so this is how the relay cropping is. The most common example of this overlapping cropping is rice based relay cropping system called para or utera cropping. So in which sowing of lathyrus or lentil or pea or gram or berseem or linseed are sown well before the harvesting of a rice crop, mainly 10 to 15 days before the harvesting of lowland rice as well as upland rice. These crops are sown. So this relay cropping system is called para cropping in Bihar, West Bengal and Uttar Pradesh, and this same cropping is called Utera cropping in Madhya Pradesh. So succeeding crop in a relay cropping is called catch crop, to take an advantage of moisture, space and time. Okay. Next question is, what is the seed rate in kg per hectare for line sowing for rice crop? So from the given options you have to identify how much seed rate will required if you follow the line sowing method in rice, means drilling method in rice. So from these options the correct answer is option B, that is 60 kg per hectare. So if you adopt other methods of rice cultivation, means broadcasting, you will require 100 kg of seed rate. If you use hybrid rice for sowing, then you will require 15 kg per hectare hybrid seeds. If you follow the DAPOG method of rice cultivation, then in nursery you will require 1 to 2 kg per hectare seed rate. Then SRI method you will require 5 to 6 kg of seed rate per hectare. The next question is, which of the following tillage operation is a off-season tillage? From the given options, correct answer is option D, that is a winter tillage is a off-season tillage from the given options. So what is off-season tillage? Here you can see the tillage operations are done for conditioning the soil, for improving or for rewarding the soil. These tillage operations are done suitably for forthcoming main seasons. Okay, so off-season tillage are includes post-harvest tillage, summer tillage, winter tillage and fall tillage. So main season is on-season tillage operations are done to prepare a seed bed in that particular main season is called on-season tillage. Okay, mainly the Kharif season is the main season all over the India. So other operations are carried before this Kharif season or after the Kharif season comes under this off-season tillage operations. So this off-season tillage is a good measure to conserve moisture, but it is not advocated in the arid soils or desert soils. Okay. Seeds are dropped in the furrow opened by the plow and the same is closed or covered when next furrow is opened. This is known as. So you have to identify this method of sowing, the traditional method of sowing basically. So the correct answer for this is sowing behind the plow. In this image you can see the farmer is plowing the fields and second is so placing the seeds in the furrows that opened with the plow, desi plow or the country plow. Next. So more information regarding sowing behind the plow as a traditional method of sowing is given here. The seeds are sown at a uniform distance is an advantage of this method. Next, sowing behind the plow is done by manually or mechanically. So manually with the help of hand, just placing the seeds in the furrows opened by the country plow, or mechanically with the help of tool called gorus or malobansa. By using the tool, it has funnel shaped mouth and bamboo tube that will help for the placing the seeds in a furrow opened with the country plow. Okay, except small seeds, all the types of seeds are sown by this method. Okay, next. Next question is, what is the plant population in number per hectare for long durational variety of cotton? From this option, correct answer is option A, that is 44,444 is the optimum plant population for long durational variety of cotton. And this can be achieved only through by the spacing of 75 by 30 square centimeter, and seed requirement for this is 10 to 15 kg per hectare, and it is done with irrigated type of cotton. Next question is, which of the following is a highly salt tolerant crop? So from this option you have to identify which is highly salt tolerant crop. Okay, and the correct answer for this is option A, that is cotton. Option D actually. Option D is the correct answer, that is cotton. So what is the salt tolerance? Here you can see the degree to which the plant can withstand with high concentration of salt in a water and soil without adverse effect. So tolerance is without any adverse effect. So salt tolerance is without any adverse effect of the salt that are present in the soil as well as in the water. So highly salt tolerant crop from this option is cotton. So more about salt tolerant crops. They are categorized into three types, that is moderately tolerant, highly tolerant and low tolerant crops. With example, you can easily differentiate these three types of salt tolerant crops. Next question is, in which form of cutting all branches of fodder crops are being cut or removed? From the given options, the correct answer is looping. Looping is the practice in a fodder crop, mainly the perennial fodder crops, in which the branches of perennial fodder crops are cut. Okay, so mostly practiced in lucerne, is a queen of fodder, and botanical name of lucerne is Medicago sativa. So more information regarding the lucerne as a perennial fodder crop is given here. So lucerne is a perennial fodder plant, supply fodder for 3 to 4 years once planted, and is a palatable green fodder containing 16 to 25% of crude protein and 20 to 30% of fiber in it, and mainly cultivated in a winter season in the states of Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Rajasthan. One season it gives 7 to 8 cuttings, and the yield, fodder yield from the lucerne is up to 280 to 320 quintals per acre. After sowing, crop is ready to harvest after the 75 days after the sowing or the planting. Next, the remaining cuttings are taken at an interval of 30 to 40 days. Next question is, what is the annual rainfall for humid area in millimeter? So from this option, the correct answer is more than 1000 millimeter is the rainfall in a humid region. So likewise for arid, semi-arid, sub-humid and humid region, the rainfall is listed here. Next question is, which of the following is a perennial crop? So from this option, the most obvious answer is the coconut. Coconut is the perennial crop. Next, what is the efficiency of a drip irrigation? So in 17 also the question over drip irrigation is asked, and in 18 also the from the given option, the most correct option is 90% is the efficiency of a drip irrigation, and other information regarding drip irrigation is depicted here. Next question is, in which form of tillage no plant is left undisturbed? So from these options you have to identify the correct that in which the no plant is left disturbed, and the correct answer is clean tillage. So in a special purpose tillage operations, there is a clean tillage, puddling, wet tillage, dry tillage, etc. So the purpose of no plant is left undisturbed means all the weeds are destroyed with the help of this clean tillage. Okay, so more regarding the special purpose tillage, here you can see over the slide. Special purpose tillage includes subsoiling, clean tillage, blind tillage, dry tillage, wet tillage operations. So the clean tillage is to control the weed control mainly, and also to control the soil borne pathogens and pests. Okay, that will expose to the sunlight when clean tillage operation is practiced. Next question is, what is the optimum relative humidity range for crop production? So you have to identify the ideal relative humidity range from the given options, and the correct answer is option A, that is a 40 to 60%. And what is relative humidity? So it is the ratio of actual water vapor content to the saturated water vapor content at a given temperature and pressure, and expressed in percentage. So relative humidity is nothing but the amount of water vapor required in addition to get saturate the air at a present temperature and pressure. So relative humidity influence the water requirement of crop because it will inhibit or promote the water evaporation as well as transpiration. That's how the relative humidity is a major aspect in a crop growth and production. Next. So what is the name of the component in which perennial hedge and crop are cultivated? So name of the component in a perennial hedge and crop is called, correct option is the alley cropping, is called alley crops. So in this image you can see here the hedge means the tree, line of tree or the rows of tree. In between these two rows the crop is cultivated as an alley crop. Next. Which among the following crop has largest area under 15-16 estimate? So from this option you have to identify which crop has the largest area into as per the 2015 and 16 estimates, crop estimate. The correct answer for this is the paddy. Paddy having the largest area in 15 and 16. Next, which among the following is a temperate crop? Again, the correct answer is the wheat. Wheat is the temperate crop because the optimum temperature requirement for the wheat growth and development is less than 24 degrees Celsius. So it comes in the temperate crop cultivation. Next, looping is related with. So we are already talking about the looping and the lucerne. Same with the correct answer is the lucerne. So looping is related with the lucerne as an queen of fodder, as an perennial fodder crops. Looping is practiced nothing but the cutting the branches of the perennial crop to get a first cut or subsequent cuts. Okay, as an fodder crop. It is a protein rich fodder crops. Okay, next. In which type the tillage system 15 to 30% of plant residues left on the soil surface? From this option the correct answer is in reduced tillage. So range of reduced tillage in which 15 to 30% of crop residues left over the soil. in a conservation tillage, but in a conventional tillage only up to 15% of crop residues is left over the soil, and in a no-till 100% of crop residues left over the soil surface. Next. So next question is, which among the following crop is a medium to high sensitive to water shortage? From the given options, you have to identify the crop which comes under the medium to high sensitivity water shortage crop. So from the options, the correct answer is a wheat. Wheat falls under the category of medium to high sensitivity for the water shortage. And other examples of low to medium, medium to high, and high sensitivity for the water shortage are depicted here. Next, which among the following crop is a low to medium sensitive to water shortage? From this option, again you have to identify which crop belongs to low to medium sensitivity for the water shortage, and the correct answer for this is the cotton. So for low to medium, the cotton falls in this category from the given options, and other categories also are depicted here. Next question is, which among the following has lowest seed replacement rate? From the following options, you have to identify which crop has the lowest SRR value, and the correct answer for this is option D, that is groundnut. Groundnut having the lowest SRR value from the given options. Okay, and the as per the options, the SRR value is depicted in this table. Next. Next question is, pegging and pod formation stage occurred in which crop? So from the given options, you have to identify in which crop pegging and pod formation stage usually seen. Okay, from the options, the correct answer is groundnut. That is option C is the correct answer, in which pegging and pod formation stage as a critical growth stage seen in the groundnut crop. Next question is, CRI stage is a critical stage for irrigation of which crop? So CRI means crown root initiation stage is a critical growth stage in which crop? From given options, you have to identify the name of crop in which CRI stage is seen. Okay, so you have to text the answer in the comment section for the question over your screen. Okay, so here you can see the crown roots. Okay, crown roots. Okay, and these are the seminal roots at the initial stage of the plant growth. Just you have to identify the name of crop in which the CRI stage is a critical growth stage. Okay, so my dear learners, thanks for giving me your precious time. If you have any doubt, query regarding the preparation, you can mail us on hello@edutap.co.in, or you can call us on 8146207241. So stay connected, stay healthy. Thank you so much.